Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. For today's episode, for episode 136, I got a guest for the brand new 2023 year, but it's not just any ordinary guest. It is Miss Réland. What's up, Ray?
Hello, I'm back. And it's New Year.
That's right. Hey. So today we wanted to talk about, which we planned for a couple of months ago, about how we were going to talk and somewhat give some advice, make some recommendations, do a little bit of podcasting consulting of how you plan your marketing year if you are just in the thick of the new year and you just say, I don't know what to do. You didn't plan for it and prepare. Now it's time to get going. So Ray said, let's talk about it. So Ray, what are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about how to set your year up for success to ensure that the strategy that you have really coincides with what your business goals are, and how to ensure that you have checkpoints throughout the year to end December 2023 on a high note.
Love it. So hopefully you are seeing that I'm working on the video as just as much as the audio. I'm just trying to make it right, get it tight. When it comes to your marketing, it needs to be the same. So hopefully you're checking this out on YouTube as well. If you don't know, the YouTube page will be listed to if you want to follow it. Also, this will be on LinkedIn in Webster or in the LLC. I don't think that's the correct handle. I'm just gonna put the handle in the show notes. So if you want to watch the video of lovely Ray and handsome Nathan on End Up Podcast, here you go. But for those that are listening, let's get the show started.
Let's do it.
All right. So first and foremost, would you like to start?
You know what? I'm going to first and foremost it. Go for gold. What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask you, for those that are used to doing tactics, which is just creating social media posts or running a little bit of copy for blogs, and they are like, is there another level of strategy? Like, what should I be doing? Where do we start there? And I need to put myself on Do Not Disturb.
Where do we start? So I think what I have found with many people that I've worked with is they're like, my social media is not working. I post this. I'm always doing this. And they're kind of just on that hamster wheel of that, like, but it's not working. And the real money-making portion of marketing is where it connects to your sales process, because otherwise they are working against each other. So there needs to be some commonality, and we need to make a full circle of it. In order to make that full circle starting in January, you actually have to start with reassessing your goals and having a strong business plan. I'm going to assume you did that, and we're not going to talk about that today. We're just going to fast forward.
That's good.
So
that's good.
But you got to start knowing where we're going in sales. So write down your sales goal, step one, and you need to break it into smaller chunks. Once that is broken into smaller chunks, so smaller chunks being quarterly and monthly, for many of us, we're service-based providers. Some of us are product-based providers. Whatever that is, for service-based providers, you need to figure out how many appointments do you need a month to hit that goal. Reminder, not every appointment's going to show up. Not every appointment is going to lead to a sale. So you need to be able to plan for at least triple the amount of appointments as you will get sales, assuming that you're going to close maybe a third of them. For products, you need to know exactly how many of your key product would keep your doors open. Once those numbers are figured out and you have a business plan set, we're going to actually go from tactics to strong strategy. Ready for this?
I just want to say, like, y'all, none of this is rehearsed, scripted. We were not talking about any of this. We were just like, what's going to be the name of the podcast? We don't know. We're just riffing it. But it's not riffing it. It's actually experience and education blended into one to give you this. So if you haven't been taking notes, definitely now's the time.
So push pause, go grab a notebook and a pencil, rewind, and then come back to this part.
Yes, because I would just say that first and foremost, you have to set that sales goal. If not, then what you're doing is just for the birds. The sales goal is important. If you don't, then what are you marketing for? What's the point? What's the purpose behind it? Yes.
Got to know your why.
Mm.
All right. So we've done that piece, that very, very important piece of knowing where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to broad tactics, what I would say is now we know how many appointments we need or how many products we need to sell. Then I would sit down and look at who my ideal audience is. Who is it that I'm going after? And what channels are they on? Are they blog readers? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Insta? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Are they at trade shows? You know, sometimes we spend a lot of time talking about digital marketing, but in-person marketing is just as important.
Yeah.
Where are those people?
Yeah.
And when we have those people, we need to be ready to tell our strong stories. Have you collected testimonials from last year? If you haven't, now's the year to start collecting them. Do you have the ability to talk about how to use the thing that you use in a charming and different type of way that people never thought about? Sit down and map out what are the stories for your product or service that are going to move the needle. Pick 6 and stick with those 6 all year. Just because you said it once doesn't mean anybody heard you. That's fine. For those of you who can't see me, I'm just shrugging my shoulders. It takes 8 touches to get somebody to just pay attention to you. So when you're tired of hearing it or saying it for yourself, it probably means people are just now starting to listen. So push past that.
And for those that have the anecdotal of, well, it took me 5 or 3 times, it was because a person was seeking or looking or inquired like, oh, you know what, maybe that is something. More of that inquisition of they needed and wanted it. Now it's like, oh, this keeps coming up in my feed or this keeps coming top of mind. And this is the person that keeps reminding me of this. So, you know, you talk about trade shows too. I saw a commercial of a boat trade show going on at the Expo Center next week. And I'm like, but it got me thinking, right? So I'm not going to go buy a boat, but I could set myself up to buy a boat. If I go to it, it's going to put me that much further to buy a boat. But at the same time, I'm like, why would I set myself up for that if I'm not going to pull the trigger? So this is something else, which I don't want to stop what you're going on because I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
We're on a boat, y'all. So first things first, you figured out exactly where your numbers need to be. Second thing is you really hunkered down, figured out what channels folks are on. And then third, you planned out what are going to be your stories? What are your pillars for those products or services that you use? And we are going to then tell the story.
Yes.
Assess the story, refine the story, tell it again. And we're going to stay in that loop consistently for entire quarter.
Are we supposed to like ask for a sale?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We're telling our stories. We're telling our stories. We're telling our
But
stories.
I need a sale.
Yeah, but don't we all?
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Don't we all?
You better not ask for the sale just yet. You haven't put out that much information.
Yeah, you have to earn that trust. And that's what those stories are doing, is it's a cycle of building trust. Because eventually, we're telling those stories, we're building that awareness. Somebody is going to come tap you on the shoulder.
Fast.
Excuse me, how do I buy that?
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, my friend could use that. Hey, Nathan, I saw this thing. I was thinking of you. They have boats for sale. Have you thought about going to ABC Boats?
Mm-hmm.
And so telling that story constantly and consistently is always going to set that in the person's mind, that they know what they're getting. They know what to expect. Now, when you tell 365 different stories throughout the year about different things, you're not consistent, you seem scattered, and people aren't going to know, like, and trust you, and they won't ask for the sale. And right now, you're trying to go from you asking for the sale to the customer asking you for the sale. And that's going to be the difference between having 6 stories versus 365 stories being burned out and not making your money goals at the end of the year.
That is very high-level strategy. So I want to break that down using something simple for those that may have... Oh, wait, before I go there, what budget should they allocate, or would you like to share it? Because I can go But what would you suggest to having a budget in regards to giving yourself time for the strategy implementation and execution?
I would say that it depends. It's really going to depend on where you're at. This is your first year in business. That's going to be a lot of learning time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your goal shouldn't be to make a sale. Your goal should be getting in front of people to start asking them questions if it's your first year in business. So to be conservative, give yourself 6 months. If this is not your first year in business, if you have things to go off of from last year and this is helping you just move to the next level, then give yourself, anywhere between, depending on how savvy you are, from 1 month to 3 months to really fine tune those stories as best as possible and be consistent in that process. I think the key here is consistency. And what does consistency look like for you before you start to see results? What I am asking of anybody listening to this is to not take the scattered approach of thinking it has to be different every single day.
And the reason why I was asking you that, because some folks say, I don't know, let me do a two-pronged way. I don't know how much I should pay for your services, nor do I know how much to spend for ad spend. And I'm like, well, it's anywhere from 5 to 15% of your sales. So, and I'm going to say income, but income is different because if you're a sole proprietor, that income, depending on when you take those withdrawals out, are going to be different than our already mid-size micro business that has maybe 5 to 15 employees. Kind of not, I mean, that's another level where they might even could have an internal team. Mm-hmm. So depending on what you want to accomplish, coming back to the original point of the sales goal, here's where it would matter on the scope of what you're trying to accomplish, and then how much are you trying to make from this? If it's just branding at that first level of your IADA, awareness / attention, if you're just putting it out there just to get folks to know about you, you shouldn't expect a return in regards to making a sale that comes immediate. This is a long-term investment. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And as you know, in case you don't know, they don't televise full marathons. They do, I should say. Let me take that back. It's just not in prime time. And if they're going to televise a marathon, they want to give you highlights and not showing you a person the whole entire time. So with that said, these things have to be done in, I would say, sprints, to where don't think you can do it all in one day and all in 1 month, especially the return to come back. That's not how things work. So if you're looking to create that awareness, attention, down to interest to where people can make the decision, now that's a different strategy in the strategy. Okay, so this is where, coming back to what Ray said in regards to sales, here's where the sales strategy is married to the marketing strategy.
You have to know where you're going in order to get there. So I'm going to weirdly take us away from this for a hot second and just give everybody some mindset groundwork. When it comes to knowing your numbers, you need to be able, your mind needs to see it before you can see it, or you will never see it.
Hold back now. You might need to say that again.
Bring it back now.
Stop. Don't go any further. Yes, because I have a lot to say on that, but please keep going.
So in your mind, for the repeat, you need to see it in your mind before you actually see it to see it, or you will never see it.
I tell people, not to cut you off because I want you to keep going, but I have to tell folks, especially my clients, like all the time, like this is an investment in your value proposition. And if you're a sole proprietor, this is an investment not only in your company, but also in you as well. Look, this is a whole nother level of self-help, okay? Marketing, promoting, advertising, putting yourself out there. When you have that marketing mix in the omni-channel approach, it will wear you out. So on a mental level, you need to ensure you're doing all that you possibly can because that is no joke. That is no joke whatsoever.
It's really not. And so I say all this to say, going back to those steps that we started out with, you need to write your numbers down.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know where to find your people. You need to have your stories set up, and that's going to further you for success. Now, to go to that mindset piece, I have a client, and she's absolutely incredible, and mindset was what was holding her back. It was holding Monica back so
You said
bad.
her name, too?
Who says that's her real name?
Ah!
So, that's my go-to name, secret route. So Monica is just really struggling with that mindset piece. And, one day I sat down with her. We talked very strongly about appointment setting, what that looks like, what those numbers are going to look like in the next 6 months. So when I do consulting, I'm not just consulting on how to get your business to the next level or how to get your marketing to the next level. A lot of times I'm consulting on how to get your mindset to the next level. She went from, maybe I can do this in 6 months and I'll give myself 6 weeks to get to 6 new clients in a month. That lady went from 6 new clients, maybe we'll start doing that in a month, to doing it in 2 days, and she got 7 because she hunkered down on her appointments and closed deals from past days. So
That's what's up.
Get your mind right.
Right.
Have your sales goals written down, and have your stories put together. And I promise you, you will take 2023 to places you never knew they could go.
Yeah, and I would say that sometimes that is, sometimes, not all the time, is the hardest but easiest thing for you to fix. And that's another podcast. I mean, we only got a couple minutes left in this podcast, but that is truly a strategy that sometimes you may need to you got to do on your own, but it needs to be part of the process of you still need to jump out on that ledge and you got to go forward, take that step to do marketing, promoting, because let's just say you do Google ads and you choose to do Google ads over networking. Well, the way you're going to go about it and follow through with those leads that are coming in will be different than when you do with networking, but how would you know? Or let's just say you don't want to mess with Google and you choose to do LinkedIn. The way you follow up with those leads is going to be different than, say, with Google and networking, but you won't have a strategy to figure out what it's going to look like until you actually do it. But mentally, you need to be ready and prepared to figure it out. And when it doesn't work, because it's not when it doesn't work, you're going to have to quickly pivot in a way that's going to still make sense to your bottom line, your numbers, but also to your sanity in that regards, but for the betterment of your company.
Yeah. It's just so important. I always butcher the saying about luck, so hopefully Nathan can help me out here. But, luck is just like being prepared meets opportunity, and I did it.
You did it. You did do it.
My goodness, I did it.
You did it.
Okay.
High five.
Always mess that one up. But it's really, really true. And so with this strategy, what we're telling you is be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And be prepared well. Know what those stories are so you're not stumbling over your feet. Know how you introduce yourself. Know what the numbers and your goals are. Know where you're going and the steps you're going to take to get there. So when those opportunities to run ads on LinkedIn come up, or that opportunity is somebody standing in front of you at Starbucks, if that opportunity is you going on a jog and bumping into somebody with their dog and you sell dog clothes, whatever that is, you need to be prepared. Now, you've gone through this, you've prepared yourself, you have your stories, you know that you're going on certain channels, you know what your sales goals are. You have to track your numbers. And I know for many of us that is a terrifying thing to have to do. But listen to me. I know I've said it on past podcasts. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it forever. What gets measured gets managed.
Uh-oh. It is true. It is, and I've said it. You have to inspect what you expect.
Sure. You absolutely have to. So make sure you're following your numbers, seeing, and then being able to say what worked, what didn't work. Mm-hmm. How can I fix this? How can I duplicate those efforts? How can I continue to make this thing that continues to grow and get better? All of us have opportunities, myself included. You are going to make mistakes, and that's cool. Those are the best things you can do, because the best winners in this world are also your best losers. They've lost more times than they have won. So go ahead, take the L, and take that not as an L, but a L for leveling up, because that's all it's doing for you.
I love that. L for leveling up.
So take that and build it up, because if you just have that like basic strategy that we just gave you, you are managing your numbers, you are telling stories and at all places that you know your people can be found, and you wrote down your numbers in the beginning of the year and know what each breakdown is, this is going to be a lot more easier and comfortable for you than it is going to be for the person who started this year just saying, I'm going to be on social media every single day. And they are burnt out by March because they're trying to post something different every day. That's a lot of thinking. And kudos to you if you can think that hard.
Hey, mad props.
High five. But how about we take 2023 and make it easier on you and more money in your bank account at the end of the year?
Work smarter,
not harder.
Ray, where can they find you at?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram is the best place to find me, at Gray Digital Marketing. That is actually GRAY Digital MKTG. You'll find a lady with a hat, and that lady with the hat is me.
Love it. Love it. Thank you again for coming down the show.
Of course. My favorite place to be.
That's what's up. Hey, I want to respect y'all's time. It's been more than 20 minutes. But there is so much more that I wanted to drop. And I think at the end of the day, for me, with all of this is, folks want how-to guides. They want templates. And yeah, there are some out there. And yes, we can help you with those templates, those guides, those guidebooks, whatever cheat sheets you have. But you have to put in the work. We can help you. We can guide you. We'll show you the templates to use. But if you need help, we can help you, but you got to stay in your value propositions. That's one thing I want to make sure I continue to say in this new year. Stay in the thing that makes you great and allow others to help you. So if you want to contact us, please feel free. Where can they reach you at, Ray?
On Instagram at Gray Digital Marketing. Gray with an A, MKTG for marketing, lady with a hat.
And if you want to reach out to In-Depth Brand, info at nwebsterllc.com. If you want to work with Ray, if you want to work with myself, we work together.
We do.
So no matter where you hit us up at, you can find us on LinkedIn as well. You will find both of us there. So please don't hesitate. If you want help with the strategy, implementation, or execution, we can do it for you. So with that, Ray?
Yes, mister?
It's been a pleasure.
Always a good time.
We wish you the best and dream big and Godspeed.
Happy New Year.